All right, good Sunday afternoon. We welcome you back to Baton Rouge for the Women's NCAA Regional, where LSU wins the Regional 101-47 over Texas Tech. We are joined by LSU head coach Kim Mulkey. In the middle is Flaugier. To the far left is Michaela Williams. As always, quick reminder, please turn off your cell phones. No videoing with phones. Raise your hand. We will start with questions to the players first. Raise your hand and please address yourself with your name, your affiliation, and who you are asking a question to. And we'll start right here in the front, please.
Ron Higgins, Bossier Journal. Flaugier, your time at LSU, has this been everything that you would thought it would be when you signed here? You signed at a time where LSU wasn't great. Just talk about your career and today, how it turned out. Yeah,
it was more. I was talking to somebody, I forgot what I told them, but I was like, when I first came here, I just wanted to be SEC Freshman of the Year. And that's all I was really thinking about. And of course, like winning the national championship, that was crazy. But everything else that came with it has been just beyond my wildest dreams. I didn't even know I could play college basketball. Like when I was in high school, I didn't really get on the stage until I was unranked until like my 10th grade year, I think. So this is unbelievable to me.
Chessa Boucher with NBC 33 in Baton Rouge here. Flaugier leaving the court, the crowd, the standing ovation, the embrace with Coach Mulkey. What did it mean to you?
Yeah, I lost it. I knew I was going to lose it, but I was holding strong. And then my teammates came and hugged me, and then it was like a roar that like I heard in that PMAC, and it was like, wow, like, and then I gave everything I had, and it just let everything out. And it was the most beautiful thing that I've been a part of, something I'll remember forever. Just so thankful for the fans, thankful for Coach Mulkey, the whole program. This has been unimaginable.
Go ahead, Michael, and then in the middle right there.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge for Flaugier, and then Michaela, just the defensive effort, the scout that Bob gave you guys, 11 in the second, 7 in the third. Mm-hmm. Just how bought in were you guys defensively, and what's different about this team defensively?
Man, I think we had like a players-only meeting, and we kind of like said like what we needed to do. You know what I mean? And I think me and Michaela, we have just kind of just taken on that leadership thing to the max, you know what I mean? And it starts in practice. We always communicate and we always talking, and just that energy that we bring. Like when you see Michaela getting stops on defense, it's like, well, I gotta get stops on defense. Like best scorers in the country can get on the floor and play defense like everybody. And it's contagious. And I feel like this was our best defensive effort of the year, honestly, as a whole team. We do like defensive player of the game, but I think it's a team defense award today because everybody was everywhere. We was helping each other. I just thought it was amazing, and it started in practice.
She said it perfectly. I think maybe that's just everybody buying in. That's just a testament to everybody buying in and locking in and knowing what we need to do to get far in this tournament run, knowing that we needed to do this to get over that hump. And when we lose those games, we kind of slack off defensively. We have mishaps, but I think locking in and buying in on the defensive end is really, really what got us here.
There you go.
Kent Ross, champ side. Michaela, you had a huge game tonight offensively. It seems like the more people try to guard you, the harder they try to guard you, the more you turn up. Talk about your game tonight and your shooting as well.
I think that's just my teammates finding me and me being ready to knock down shots. I'm getting great screens set from Kate and Mama and Z and Grace. That's just them getting me open and me executing and knocking down the shot.
Back row.
Andrew Greenstein, Louisiana Radio Network. This question is for Flaugier. Flaugier, on Friday night, you were not on the dais when Kim Mulkey said this. You may have heard it, but she said that you're one of those players that they're not going to even need your last name when they talk about you. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about that you're going to go down in history as one of the greatest players in LSU history in any sport. Mm-hmm. How do you react to that? What does that mean to you when Coach Mulkey speaks about you in that way?
I mean, it's an honor. She's been coaching like 100 years, and I'm just kidding. I'm just laughing. No, Coach, I'm just laughing. Not that long.
You just lost your starting job, sister.
No, but Coach Mulkey, she's a vet, and she's been doing this a long time. So, you know, to hear her say things like that, it's amazing. But, you know, I do have that first name, like, you know, Flau'jae, and then you got, like, Beyonce, and then you got, like, Drake, like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's a compliment. But I'm just thankful, like, I learned so much from Coach Moki, and she really molded me into the player I am today, honestly. Me from my freshman year till now, like, my mental, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all testament to Coach Moki. And, you know, I told her, like, coach me hard, coach us hard. And, you know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody kind of bought in, and this is the result you get, you know?
Right here, front row.
That day, while she's here, she wasn't playing, she wasn't cutting up. The day I got emotional on the radio, for those of you locally who heard it, I just lit her up in practice. That was a true story. She was flopping all over the floor when we were trying to break a press, and I just said, get off the floor. The floor is going to hurt you. So she was telling the truth. But a month before that, she stood before her teammates and said, Coach us hard to the bitter end. And so I reminded her of that. No one likes to be coached hard, but if you keep reminding them, this is what you asked for, this is what we're going to. Did you see the press affect us one bit tonight? That's why you coach them hard, Flau'jae. She wasn't kidding.
Hey, y'all, it's Megan Hall with USA Today. This question's for both of you. You broke a record today, most 100-point games in a single season, so it now stands at 16. What does that mean to you as players to be a part of something like that in NCAA history?
Obviously, as a basketball player and just like a little girl growing up watching basketball, it's everybody's dream to have their name in the history book. So it's truly a good feeling and a blessing to even be able to do this and show our talents on the biggest stage.
Super cool.
Wilson Jackson, the non-basketball. My question is for Flau'jae. It's one thing for when you're dialed in and obviously scoring points and things of that nature. When you see Michaela shooting the ball the way she's shooting it and it's just coming natural, what's that feeling like for you guys?
To get her the ball. I was in fast break. I had two people on me. I could have took a layup, but I seen 12 in the corner. I'm like, I'm throwing it. You know what I mean? When she get hot like that, put the ball in her hands. And I just learned that. And I don't know, she's just a pro's pro. You know what I'm saying? And when she's hot, you got to find her. You got to run plays for her. And I think, you know, that's just like winning plays. Like, that's just a winning mentality. Like, you know, everybody's shot not going to be on. One day it might be late. One day it might be me. One day it might be 12. But whoever got the hot hand, let's get it to her until she start missing. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. That's just my mentality toward just playing with her for a while. I know where she want the ball. I know where she going to shoot. I know, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just like, get her the ball. Like, she's a generational scorer, one of a kind. So, when she's hot, you got to feed her. That's true.
Kennedy Banks, LSU Tiger TV. Michaela, when you first got here, you mentioned that Flau'jae was really involved in your recruiting process. So what was it like to go through this last game, knowing that this is you guys' last time sharing the PMAC floor? And then Flau'jae, the same question for you. You're really involved. You've seen her grow as a player and turn into the shooter she is. So what was it like being on the court tonight?
No, I'm not going to cry.
I would say a bittersweet feeling. Just knowing that we've been through so much together from the day I stepped on campus, from even before that. I think one of the biggest memories was when we scrimmaged that one time and we was going at it. We was going at it. We was going at it. And
she called me a rapper, y'all. She said I was a rapper.
We was going at it. We were competing, and it was just I'm finna take your spot, and it was just I'm not letting you take my spot. Yeah. And we were going at it and at it and at it. And ever since from that day forward, we had each other respect because neither one of us stepped down. Yeah. And I think ever since that day, our bond has been stronger and stronger and stronger. The conversations we have off the court, the lessons she's taught me on and off the court, is just unimaginable. So.
Yeah, I listened, for real. I forgot about that. But I ain't gonna lie, like, you know, I just want to see 12 win. Like, 12 came in as a freshman, I'm like, oh, my God, she's way better than when I was a freshman. Like, I don't even, like, she shoots the ball. She can score. She can get downhill. She can do whatever she wants at will. And it was inspiring to me. If you look my freshman year, like, I did not have a mid-range jumper. But when 12 came, I was studying her shot. And I was studying her shot, and I was like, how does she do? I'm going to do that. And then I developed the midi. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then we played ones, and she beat me for 2 weeks straight. And then I started beating her, and I never played her again. I ain't played her since her sophomore year, and I won't. But I'm going to take my W's. But she's an amazing talent, and I just want to see her go. And I just feel like y'all haven't seen, the triple-double Michaela yet, and it's coming. And I feel like everybody should be scared, and I feel like she get overlooked as one of the best players in the country. But that effort that she put tonight and that she put in Friday, that defensive and that rebound and those like that's who she is. And then you're going to see more and more of it as the stage get bigger. She don't shy away from the moment. So it's just important for me to keep building her confidence, and she builds mine as well.
Chessa?
To both of you, how impactful was Kate Koval tonight and Mai?
They were big. They both had double-doubles. They were both, I think the double-doubles is what y'all see, but the little things like helping on those ball screens and showing long enough and switching with a high hand on shooters and they get a shot clock violation. Like, those are the things that we talk about that get us over the hump on those big stages down the stretch in the late game. So I'm just extremely proud of them for locking in on those details that we need going down.
Yeah. Mama's a baller. Like Mama's a baller. She'll come on the floor and give you a double-double. Kate is just so mature for her age. Oh, yeah. She doesn't get sped up. She talks well. She's like a natural-born leader. And just having both of them, I mean, it's beautiful, and we're going to need them to be big. And I think them playing so well early is really good for their confidence, knowing that they can play and defend anybody.
Last two questions for the players, Michael, and then in the back corner.
Yeah, just looking at the minutes, Z didn't play a ton, but kind of in the same vein, when she was in there, she's usually overmatched at the position that she's being asked to play. I'm assuming she didn't play a lot because Kim kind of knows what she can do. But how big has she been for you guys as you guys move forward, and what do you need from her going forward?
Yeah, we were just on the bench like, dang, Z, you ain't been in the whole fourth quarter. And I was like,
resting her.
Yeah, I was just like, I said, Z, man, I just love your attitude. Like, I just love your vibe. Like, you know what I mean? She one of them players, like, she gonna work. Like, she really baby Niece. Yeah. Like, for real, for real. And Niece never missed a practice. Niece was always present, and Z's like that. Like, Z is insane, and her motor is insane, and she's always where she needs to be. So, so she's gonna be big for us. She's one of the best freshmen in the country, no doubt about it. She's a real baller.
Part of that thought was Grace and Mama. Grace got in foul trouble, and then Mama didn't play. Give them some minutes right here. I got this in control, so let them get back in the flow.
Last question for the players in the back.
Megan Glover, WGNO in New Orleans. Michaela, I want to start off with you. You kind of touched on it, but just following up with seeing Flau'jae and the embrace that she got, just seeing how the fans embraced her, just how did you feel about that? And then Flau'jae, you said this is the best defensive effort for somebody that's gone through this year after year in this on this arena. I guess having this type of effort and this type of performance still at this point of the tournament, how big is that?
That's huge. You want to start playing your best basketball at this time. You want to start clicking. You want everything to look seamless, and I feel like everybody's locked in, so this is the best time.
Flau'jae's a legend. She's a legend. I think I've said it so many times. I think her jersey should go up and she should have a statue outside. She's given so much to this program just on and off the court. And the reaction that the crowd gave her is nothing more than what I expected because she's given her all to them. And we love her.
Love you too, Twelve.
Michaela Flau'jae, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Good job, guys. You can take it with you. 12.
Michaela, thank you. All right, let's open up the floor now for questions for head coach Kim Mulkey. Start right here with Chessa. Thank you.
Chess, are you kin to Bobby Boucher?
No, ma'am.
Only Louisiana people caught that. You heard the only two in here laugh.
Yep. Coach, the embrace with Flau'jae and just what her career has been here at LSU.
Just, you want it to be like this when they play their last game. What a way to go out. And for Mama, I wanted to put Izzy in, but she didn't have her uniform on. And but that's what you hope happens when they play their last game in their home arena. And that's what I told her. I said, what a way to go out. She was bawling, and I was trying not to cry, but just hug her. I can't say it enough. Kids don't stay at institutions 4 years anymore. Everybody's looking for the next NIL deal. And she stayed here, and she's impacted so many people in this town that we don't even know about. She shares her wealth.
Michael?
And Flage just talked about it, playing your best ball at the right time. You guys have ran away from two teams here in the postseason already.
Well, there's a lot of good teams left. We did play well these two games, but the deeper you go in the tournament, the tougher it gets. And so I don't even know, who do we play next? Has that game been, is it over yet? Who is it?
Duke has won 52-20.
Duke is winning. Playing Duke, if that's who we end up playing, it's hard to beat people twice. They're better, I'm sure, and I think we're better. And so my moment right now is to make sure everybody in Baton Rouge and in this state understands, and at LSU, don't take this stuff for granted. It was just 5 years ago you didn't get to come to a first and second round, or 6 years ago. It's a reward for a job well done through the course of the season. And I don't take them for granted. I don't take Sweet 16s, Elite Eights. I don't take any of that for granted. My coaching career has been blessed to coach great players, have great staffs. And every time you win one more, you go, wow, this is a blessing. And so the fans showed up today. I know the Catholics, they all went to Mass yesterday. But I don't know what those Baptists did today. I guess they got out early, huh? It was a great day. It was a great day in the PMAC. And you just wish you could bottle it up and take everybody in this arena with you to Sacramento, but unfortunately, a lot of people can't afford to go.
Back row.
Coach, two-part question for you. I had the chance to interview Flage during her freshman season. I want to ask you this question on her behalf. If you had to assess or just think about your fondest moment of her through her 4 years, from your perspective, what would it be? I guess that's the first part of the question. And then the second part of the question is, where would you put Michaela Williams' game right now as you guys get ready to go into the Sweet 16?
Well, my fondest memory of Flage was when she, sprinted when we won the national championship and almost knocked me to the floor, and her just picking me up and celebrating. And we still had seconds to go in that game. And my assistant at the time, Johnny Derrick, was trying to get us off the floor from getting a technical, and I said some choice words to him. Let them tee me up. I don't care. We just won a natty. That picture will be forever and ever in the archives, and should be at LSU. Michaela Williams, and I said this when we signed her, can go down in the history books at LSU as one of the greatest players, too. I know today's about seniors and Flage, but Michaela's skill level is, she's just tough. And I think she's really worked this year on her defense and her leadership. And she can post you up. She can shoot the mid-range. She can shoot the three ball. She can play the four for me. She played point guard today when the other two had 3 fouls. Her all-around game, and I said this 2 months ago, her all-around game has just elevated to where she is putting her – she's a pro. She's put herself at a level now where she's going to be a high draft pick. And but I said that when we signed her. You hadn't seen the best of her yet. And I agree with Flage's assessment. I just think she's so unselfish with her passing. She made a pass in the first quarter. If y'all saw it, and I went, what in the – she sees things 2 and 3 steps of most people, and she can just flick a wrist and throw it. And she thought one of those posts was just going to kind of go back door there when they went to a zone, and Flage was open in the corner. She's quite an athlete. She could probably go over to the softball diamond after the season's over, and Beth Torino would say, "Are you serious? Can I have her?" Because she signed, I think, or committed maybe in the 7th grade to play college softball. Thank God she chose basketball, but she's that kind of athlete.
Brett?
Hey, Coach. Brett Martell with AP. What do you think about being the coach of the first women's Division I team to score 116 times in one season and to set that mark against a team like Tech that hangs its hat on that pressing defense?
Brett, I don't think one thing about it. That is not something that when I'm in my rocking chair, I'm going to tell the grandkids, you know what we did one year? I'll forget it. But I won't forget those national championships, those conference championships. I won't forget those kids that played for me. I probably would forget this because really, what does it mean? What does it mean? It means I got to coach some talented teams. It means we played some sorry teams and scored it. We played some good teams and scored it. It doesn't. That's just never a goal of ours.
Back corner.
Coach Megan Glover, WGNO in New Orleans. Despite the numbers on the stat sheet, Bella Hines was still very impactful in her play. Can you just kind of speak to the impact that she made?
Well, Bella is doing exactly what you hope freshmen do. Man, she sat and sat and sat behind Michaela and Flau'jae, but she signed here knowing we had those older players in front of her. But, boy, every day in practice she wanted to guard them. Every day in practice she's taking charges. Every day in practice she's talking. And you started seeing it just get better during games. And I told her when you start out as a freshman and you go in that game, the first thing you better not do is turn the ball over. Don't turn it over. Go in and quietly do your job. Don't be a liability. And she's understood that, and so her confidence has just grown to where we always knew she could shoot the three ball. That's what Bella does. But what you didn't know and you've seen happen now, Bella will guard you. She's not afraid of contact. She's not afraid to guard the great players. And it's good for our team because it's allowed Flau'jae and Michaela and the rotation for them to get some rest all year. And then she can score the ball, and she's playing very good right now.
Last two questions for Coach here in the blue and the gentleman in the white and blue shirt. Go ahead. No, it's you. Go ahead.
Shelby Hilliard, Red Raiders Sports. You were talking about Flau'jae staying for 4 years. I just wonder from an opposing coach's perspective, someone like Bailey Maupin at Texas Tech, to do that through a rebuild as well.
I'm all respect for players that stay 4 years. I mean, it's until the NCAA, I should say, puts in a rule where you can only transfer so many times, that'll help stop the Wild West of outbidding everybody for NIL money. But for young people to do it before those rules are established, you're blessed to have them in your program. And certainly they get NIL money. Flau'jae doesn't get money from LSU any more than anybody else. But what Flau'jae and her mother have done is that, man, they've jumped on what NIL really was supposed to be about, third party, and go out there and do all those things. That's the way it should be done, not what the school can give you. That's not where she makes her money. But, yes, much respect for athletes that stay at institutions for 4 years.
Last question for Coach right here.
Stephen Garcia, Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Coach, back-to-back 50-point wins. How big do you feel like the gap is between the top tier of women's basketball and sort of the rest?
Well, if you would have asked me a day or two ago, watch some of the men's games, you're seeing the top tier get beat, right? And I can't give you examples on the women's side of that happening, but I honestly do see the gap closing a little bit. NIL, the Power 4 schools are getting what? Football money, right? Revenue share. That's going to make the rich get richer. So I don't have the answers. I think John Calipari has really buckled down and tried to study it. But I just think there are more schools that can win a national championship today than there were 10 years ago, 20 years ago. The gap in the scores, I don't analyze it and break it down to tell you in detail, but just from my naked eye and having been around this game since I was, gosh, I won't tell you, Flau'jae said 100 years, but I just think it's getting better. I do.
Coach, thank you for your time. Congratulations.
All
Good luck
right.
out west.
You bet.
All right, we'll be right back. We'll reset here. We'll be right back with Texas Tech in just a moment. Okay, welcome back to Baton Rouge for the Women's NCAA Regional. We are happy to be joined now by Texas Tech head coach Krista Gerlich to my immediate left, Bailey Maupin, and also Snowda Collins. We will open up the floor for Coach first, allow her to make a statement about the game. Then we will ask questions just to the players first and players only. Please introduce yourself, your affiliation, and who you are addressing your question to when it comes to the players. With that, ladies, Coach, we appreciate your time. Coach, the microphone is yours.
Thank you. We knew coming into this had a very tall task in trying to take down LSU, especially on their home floor. What an incredible environment. I mean, that's what NCAA basketball should look like across the board. And it was a really difficult, obviously, task. I thought our kids came out and played pretty well the first quarter, and I didn't think that they got too rattled and found a way to battle a little bit. And then slowly in the second quarter it started, or maybe quickly, the wheels started to fall off a little bit. But to LSU's credit, I mean, they've got several pros on their team. And we're not even talking about playing overseas pros. We're talking about in a couple of months, tipping it off with the WNBA team. And they certainly played like that today. Their physicality was difficult for us. Their athleticism was difficult for us. Their pace of play was difficult for us. But I thought that our kids played incredibly hard, tried to do what we asked them to do. And, what I can't let happen is that these 11 ladies in our locker room think about this loss instead of the body of work that they did for the season and for the program, because it's been a hell of a season for us. And because of that, we got to be in the tournament, and because of that, we also got to play LSU, who's going to advance very far in this tournament. So kudos to them and best of luck to LSU.
Coach, thank you very much. All right, we'll open up the floor for questions. Please raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you. And again, introduce yourself and which player you are addressing your question. Start right here in the middle.
Stephen Garcia, Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Bailey, just what made LSU's defense so difficult to try to break down today?
Kind of like what Coach Gerlich said, they're all super athletic. They play very good gaps. They slide underneath ball screens, and their main objective is to keep everybody in front. So that makes it difficult for any offense.
Right here.
Shelby Rhodes, KCBD Sports in Lubbock. Bailey, this one also for you. Coach mentioned that LSU has some pro-type players, but during this game, you were making some pro-type shots, just showing up in huge moments. Just talk about where that confidence came from in this game from the first quarter all the way to the final buzzer.
I think when my teammates put me in a position to score the ball, I have to shoot it, and today was just a good day. The ball was falling. At the end of the day, we have to score more points than 47. So.
Right here.
Shelby Hilliard, Red Raiders Sports, your coach just kind of talked about not letting y'all forget about what y'all did to get here. How much pride did both of y'all take in being a team that got to this stage to play a team like LSU, given where y'all were picked to start the season?
I sure take a lot of pride in it. This is something that we've been working on for a lot of years, especially myself. For 4 years, we've been working to get to this position, and we got to this position. We advanced, and like she said, LSU is a really, really good basketball team. And at the end of the day, we gave it what we could, but moving forward, knowing that we got the program back to where I think it deserves to be and will continue to be for a long time is an honor.
Yeah, and I'll second that. It means a lot to me. Yes, obviously this not the way we wanted to come out, but I still take a lot of pride in what we did, and I always have my chin up and chest out and happy about what we did.
Go ahead. Follow up, and we'll go back to him. Go ahead.
Snutter, you just talked about being proud of being part of this. You're a player that kind of bet on yourself to come back after a year. What has this whole year in total kind of meant that it paid off the way that it did for you?
Honestly, when I first came, I had no idea this year was going to go the way it went. When I came in, obviously I wanted to have a better year than I had previously, so I kind of bought into that. I trusted Coach Gerlich and all the coaching staff and what they presented to me, and it just worked out.
Bailey, you talked about just bringing this program back. How do you feel like a run to the second round will, be the foundation for bigger things in the future for this program?
Right now, I think Lubbock is a hot spot. You have women's basketball, men's basketball, football, all the sports, track and field. So if you're a high school recruit or you're a transfer, there's no better place to be than Lubbock. All sports, all divisions across the entire campus are doing really well. And I think that's something that a lot of people are going to notice after this year.
Bailey, Kim talked about Flage being with LSU for 4 years, but also talked a little bit about just her respect for players that stay for 4 years. And, Christy even said you had people in your DMs trying to get you to other programs. Just talk about, just put a bow on your entire 4 years with Texas Tech getting to this point.
I wouldn't want to be in any other position. This is what I've dreamed of since I was a little kid. This is what I've known I wanted to do for a really long time. And to be a part of a team play alongside people like Snudda and Danae and everybody that was on the team this year is just an honor and something that I'll hold very close to my heart for a long time. But to know that my mission is accomplished and we got it back to where it should be is an honor. It's something that I'm super, super proud of. And when it's all said and done, and 5 years from now, I'm going to turn on the TV and I'm going to see Texas Tech in the third, the fourth of national championship game, and that's what I'm going to remember.
What would y'all's message be to that freshman class that's coming in next year, any transfers that come in next year, to make sure that this continues and there's not a step back?
I would just say that the culture is set. If you don't believe in what we're doing and you don't have the same mindset as us, maybe you should choose a different program.
Right on. Just believe.
Any other questions for the players? All right. Bailey and
Thank you guys
Snudda,
very much.
congratulations on your season and your year and your entire careers. It was a pleasure to have you in Baton Rouge. Thank you all.
Good job, guys. Y'all can take
If you want to take your nameplate, you can. If not, we'll get it to you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your time. Congratulations to you. Okay, let's open up the floor now for questions for Coach, please. Raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Right there. Go ahead and start.
Coach, kind of going off Shelby's question right here with those freshmen coming in, just what's your message to them? They've seen this historic season, and yes, maybe not the way y'all wanted to go out, but it's just amazing to see what y'all have done.
Yeah, it's definitely a standard. I think that's why they chose to come to Tech anyway, is just but the expectations and the vision and where we can go, and all those kids that signed early with us have talked about it. They've been super excited about it. They've come and seen us obviously play in person multiple times. And I think we recruited the right kind of kids. They're high character. They work really hard. They're winners where they're at right now. And I think that's super important, is that we continue to recruit winners, that it's an expectation to play in the postseason. It's expectation to win championships.
Y'all hung around there at the end of the first quarter, made that run. What was the difference from there on? Was it just the WNBA talent that you talked about, or legs, or was there something specific?
It was live ball turnovers. And what contributed to that? Probably their athleticism, their pressure, their physicality. I don't think that we were as physical as we needed to be at times. We weren't as tough as we needed to be. Even setting screens, we talked about a lot the last 24 to 48 hours about how physical and physically tough we were going to have to be to help each other score. We know that we've struggled all year trying to score the basketball at a high rate, and when we don't have freedom of movement, when we can't get past somebody off of a dribble penetration, we're going to struggle a little bit. And I just don't think that we were quite tough enough in some areas. But the live ball turnovers, at halftime we were down 18, and they had 19 points off live ball turnovers.
Coach, obviously the freshmen that are coming in, but as far as the transfer portal, what are the areas of need that you're going to be targeting?
Yeah, we'll have to get some experience for sure. So clearly, I think we'll have to get a couple of wings that can and guards that can really score it and be some playmakers for us. We need some experience in the paint. Obviously, we'll have Stephanie coming back, and we've got a great kid in Jada Kearney for some height, but we still need a little bit more experience in that area as well. And with a couple of injuries to our freshmen, we'll have to get a point guard as well, just to help Rober out a little bit, because Gigi's is going to be delayed in her return.
Bailey, I think she has aspirations to play after this, stepped on this stage today and really went bucket for a bit there with some of that talent. What do you think of her play today?
I'm so incredibly proud of her. The thing about Bailey that I think if you know her, it shines through, but she's just so incredibly tough, and she's a warrior. She literally comes from the West Texas dirt, if you will. She's just so tough in everything that she does, and she doesn't back down from anybody. And I think that I knew that she was going to give us her very, very best, and I'm glad to know that she was able to, put the ball in the basket and to be productive for us. I wish we could have given her a little bit more help, obviously a lot more help, because I think that's what she's been doing for us for 4 years. But it was really great to see just how talented she is and the stage that she can play on and how she can compete. And I would not be one bit surprised if we didn't hear her name called in the WNBA draft.
And I know she didn't come out here, but just can you speak a little bit about Bailey and Danae's leadership this year and how key they both were to turning this around? She also seemed like she wasn't afraid of the moment tonight either.
Absolutely. I thought Danae did the exact same thing. I thought she stepped up. We told her she was going to get lots of looks at the three, and we wanted her to shoot them and be confident in that. And obviously she had a huge assignment on defense to try to defend Michaela Williams. And I just think those two kids, I love everything they're made of. Like, they're my type of kids. They're so incredibly tough and driven and loyal. And that's what I love about them. I have such a great relationship with both of them, and it hasn't always been great. Those are the type, I guess that's what makes the relationships great, right? Is that you can go at each other and be stubborn and get after one another, but then you turn around and, man, it's all out of love. And I'd go to war with them any day. And I just think that that's the type of leadership they portrayed this year too, is they set the standard, they upheld the standard, they held each other accountable. When times got tough, they didn't shy away from the moment, and they didn't shy away from failures either. When they failed, they owned it, and they stepped up and they tried to get better. And those two kids in particular, there's a whole locker room full of them. That's what we just talked to the team about. I'm not sad right now. I'm sad that it's over, but that group of girls brought so much joy, like every day. Like, we didn't have drama. We didn't have, any type of tension. We had kids that were so excited to be there and played hard. And that doesn't mean we didn't have rough days, but they just brought a lot of joy to our daily work life, and they brought a lot of joy to this community. And so those two kids in particular, I thought, just led the way the entire time, and they never let anybody fall below the standard. And I think that's huge for what we're trying to do moving forward.
Kind of going off that with Bailey and Danae, but also we've talked a lot about this incoming freshman class, but you mentioned how much that freshman class looks up to this senior class. So just speak on what this senior class has done to get Lady Raider basketball back in this moment and the legacy you think they've left.
Yeah, I think it speaks a lot to the seniors' leadership and their investment in our program when our incoming players that they are not going to play with respect them so much and look up to them so much, and they have relationships with them. In this day and age, and the transfer portal, and hopping to school, like, most kids on their way out could really care less what happens to whoever comes in the door. But when your team is truly committed to the name on the front of the jersey, then that's when your program is in a good place. And that's what this group is. Those 9 seniors love being Lady Raiders, and they love Texas Tech, and they chose Texas Tech to be their forever home, and they will all be Lady Raiders for life, and I love that about them. And because of that, they sent that message. They were very involved. It was really hard to recruit kids to say, I don't know who you're going to play with, right? Because we've got 9 kids leaving, but they saw what it could look like. They understood what it's about, and those seniors, what I love about it too, and Bailey just said it. She said she's going to watch it on TV. That girl's going to be front row and center. I'm just telling you right now. She will be present, but they're all going to come back if they even leave, right? And they're going to be a huge part of what we're doing moving forward, and I love that type of legacy. They put us back on the map. They set a lot of records. It's the first time in 21 years that this program's gotten a win and advanced to the round of 32. They have a lot to be proud of, and I said this a couple of days ago, but I'm excited about the first reunion that we have with them, and they all come back and get a standing ovation just for all the blood, sweat, and tears that they poured into our program over the last 10 months.
Brett?
Yeah, Brett Martell with AP. Krista, first, kudos on the important first step for your program. Just from your life in the game, if you can separate yourself a little from today, LSU has 116 times this season, never been done. The record stood since '87. How do you put something like that in perspective as just someone who's worked in the game as long as you have and played?
So say that last part again.
Oh,
that LSU said what?
They scored 100 16 times.
Got it.
This season's first time Division I in Long Beach State. Sorry, it wasn't meant at you.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I didn't hear. I just didn't understand. I understand what the question is. Yeah. Well, first of all, the offensive power, right? I mean, it's incredible the type of players that they have and how quickly they can move the ball up the floor. And there was a time in the third quarter that we called a timeout and said, if you don't want them to hang 100 on you, you've got to quit shooting it so quickly. And because we knew that was why we have to limit their possessions to keep them from scoring the ball because they can score it so well. When you try to put it in perspective of of what they're doing. I mean, it's incredible to watch, and it's very difficult to defend, and you have to try to find ways to, pick your poison, if you will. And I thought, in the first quarter, I think it always takes time to figure out just how physical it's going to be. And it was extremely physical, and we knew it would be, but like you tap that on with the speed and the pace of the game, and then obviously you not being able to set your press, which, not that our press was going to be super effective against them today, but that is how we get in it, is you got to be able to score it, to even be able to change defenses. And that was really difficult for us. But just being around the game as long as I have, like, we say it all the time, right, that offense sells tickets, and clearly, everybody wants to watch them score the ball, and defense wins championships, and it looks to me like they've got a little bit of both.
Coach, you talked about your vision being, to eventually get this program back to where it is, competing for national championships. How close do you feel like the program is to that?
That's a good question. And, I think we definitely made the right steps as far as, like, winning more basketball games, obviously getting back in the tournament, those types of things. But in this, I'm just going to say it like it is. In this day and age, we got to have, we have to have more resources to be able to fund a team. I have no idea what LSU's cap is or what their total amount is for their team, but ours is probably an eighth of it, if that. We don't have any. I don't have $1 million player on my team, and that doesn't mean anything except that there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference in the level of talent, and we have to have that investment to be able to compete at that level. There's a big gap between probably 1 through 8, maybe 8, and 8 through 64. Like, there's a big gap. And, you saw it today, right? We're a 7th seed, which had we won a few more games in our conference, we might have been up to a 4 seed. But if I remember correctly, a 4 seed in this conference lost by 40 to LSU just about a week ago. And so, there's more parity coming, but there's the upper echelon of the NCAA Division I women's basketball, and then there's the rest of us. And we have to be able to fund our program in the NIL space and the rev share space to be able to compete at the level to win championships.
Austin Jackson for the Daily Toreador. We got to see Miriam and Adley come in a little bit at the end. Can you just talk about the decision to put them in and the impact they've had on the program this season?
Yeah, when you're down by whatever it is, you're just looking for a little spark. You're wanting to reward some kids for giving us their all. I think Adley can give us a spark off the bench a lot, and I actually kind of hate that I didn't give her more opportunity throughout the year, because I think that she can do some really nice things, and she has such a great attitude about it. And we were in pretty significant foul trouble in the post area, and I knew Mimi would be physical with their post, and we had to be physical with them to at least try to keep them out of the paint a little bit. And so that's where we made that decision.
One more here. Go ahead.
I asked the players this, but kind of a similar question for you. If you can get that investment that you're talking about, what would the message be to players that want to come be a part of this program and continue this? And has anything been learned from a similar situation a few years ago where it was a senior class and then the young ones came in, as far as what players to go after?
Yeah. Well, so, yeah, it makes a difference. When you win, it makes a difference. Your phone's going to ring. You're going to get the attention of better players and players that want to come in and help, because this is the thing, too. Like, I can't speak for LSU, but I know that there are some teams out there that have All-Americans sitting on the bench, right? And, like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why wouldn't you go to another school and try to be an impact player? But I do think NIL has changed that a little bit because some will go sit for money instead of going and playing. But I do think that we will attract higher level players because of the success that we had this year. We already are. I mean, even our recruiting class with our freshmen is better than we've had in the past couple of years, which I don't think we've even signed a freshman in the last 2 years. And then, just with the addition of Stephanie, I think that's going to be something that people are going to want to play with. I mean, that's a unicorn, if you will, and that's going to be really exciting to see that. But yeah, I just think that the success that we've had, it helps when you win. I think it helps. I said this the other day. It means something again for the Double T and Lady Raiders to walk into a living room or to make a phone call. When it's very different now than it was 6 years ago when I was making phone calls and talking about coming and playing for the Lady Raiders. And I think that just what we've done with some players, even with Snetta coming in and having the year that she had, with Bailey being an all-conference player and obviously hoping to hear her name and maybe Snetta's name too in a couple of weeks, that will help us. I mean, all of those things, I think, attract high-level players, and those are some of the things that we'll be talking about in the recruiting process.
Coach, it was our pleasure to host you in Baton Rouge. Thanks for your perspective and your time,
Mm-hmm.
and we wish you the best of luck down the road.
Thank you very much. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you very much. That'll wrap things up from the Baton Rouge Regional. We thank you for joining us. Have a good Sunday afternoon and evening.